today I'm going to be talking about designing nudges for better eco-behavior. I made sustainability my default choice in the year 2013, and as a waste mafioso, my vision for 2030 is to live in a world with more mindful consumers and citizens. In London, a social experiment was conducted to reduce the amount of cigarette litter on the streets. They noticed that the street that they were targeting was filled with pubs frequented by young men at night. They did have cigarette bins at the moment, but the current cigarette bins were dark, and when smokers came outside establishments to smoke, they often couldn't see the bin or didn't notice it. To combat this, the researchers, in the place of the dark bin, put instead a brightly colored yellow bin called the ballot bin. The ballot bin posed a question that smokers and citizens really cared about. In this case, the question on the box was Ronaldo or Messi? Which player do you vote for with your butt? This fun and engaging bin encouraged smokers to dispose of their butts in the bin that they wanted to vote for. This experiment was very successful and led to a reduction in cigarette butt waste by 46%. The same bin was introduced in several other countries, but with questions that fit the local context. And over there, they had even better results. This is a classic example of a nudge. As you can see in the screen in front of you, a nudge is not eliminating choice. The people here can still choose to take the escalator instead of the stairs, but they've just made the stairs a lot more appealing. A nudge is simply designing a choice architecture where you make the choice you want customers or citizens to pick more interesting, exciting, or prominent. Even in the case of the first example, they did not ban smoking entirely, but instead they made the choice of eliminating the cigarette butt waste in a better way, more exciting and more prominent. This kind of design has been used by marketers and advertisers to sell products for a very long time. For example, products that are aimed at children are displayed at a child's eye level in a supermarket. We've also seen this in TV advertising as well as in e-commerce websites, where the product that you love is suddenly at 50% off, making it too irresistible an offer to pass up. Or you often see a pop-up of someone who's purchased a product that you were looking at right at the moment when you were trying to purchase it. These are all examples of nudges to nudge you into the direction to make a choice that the person designing the nudge wants you to make. But how can we use these same principles to design for social good? This too has been done before, not just in India, but in other countries as well. One such example is in London, hotels were trying to reduce food wastage. In order to reduce the amount of food wasted, they did two things. They reduced the size of the plates that was offered to customers, and they encouraged diners to take second helpings. This ended up reducing food wastage by 20%, and not only helped the hotels financially, but was great for the environment too. More importantly, designing nudges are the first step in changing long-term behavior. Research already suggests that most behavior in humans is developed by the age of 9. This is not to say that you do not develop behavior after the age of 9 or that it's impossible. It's just that it's a lot harder to influence behavior after that age. In such a case, how do we create nudges for children in early education that incorporate elements of play, but also steer them towards making more sustainable choices as consumers and citizens? Climate change is one of the biggest challenges that future generations will face, and large-scale behavior change is required to be able to help solve this challenge. We need to equip our children to be able to deal with this problem of climate change. Designing nudges for children needs to start with understanding what children value the most. Is it appreciation and approval from the adults in their lives? Is it acceptance by peers? Or is it empathy towards others that drives and motivates our children? In the first example as well, we saw that what motivated smokers was talking about football, and this is how they designed that nudge. When we answer this question for the children we are designing for, we can design better nudges to help impact behavior and a more sustainable future. In the case of designing for children, an added layer of contemplation is required. Unlike the first example where it was only the smoker whose opinion was taken, here the person designing has to also understand the context of the home and what the entire household values. When working with young children, their value systems are closely aligned to that of their closest family members. Therefore, you cannot just design for an individual, but for an entire household. Their values, their traditions, and what they prioritize need to be considered while designing a nudge. A household in America may value things very differently than a household in India, for example. So their local context must be kept in mind as well. In return, when the nudge is implemented, you as a researcher will not only be influencing the child, but the entire household as well, because the nudge is already designed based on what most in the house value. This provides a unique opportunity for us to influence entire households by designing nudges for children. There is already a lot of work being done to improve the waste problem through technology. We have lots of innovations and solutions that are out there today. For example, to combat manual scavenging, we now have mixed waste recycling systems which do not need human intervention. We also have apps that use blockchain technology and allow for better, more efficient reverse logistics of segregated dry waste. We have complex wet waste composting systems and biogas systems. We have plastic pyrolysis and a ton of other solutions that combat the problem with technology. However, despite all these solutions and technological advancements, we still do not have enough people consuming mindfully and reducing the amount of waste that is being generated. We still do not have enough people segregating their waste. And most importantly, we still have people who litter the streets. And this is why it is now more important than ever before to focus our efforts on behavior change as well as technological innovations. I would like to end by quoting Anne-Marie Bonneau. We don't need a handful of people doing zero waste perfectly. We need millions of people doing it imperfectly. Designing nudges that influence children and households to make more sustainable choices has real potential to change the way people consume and help in the fight against climate change. Let's end today by thinking what we as educators and parents can do to solve the problem of waste by designing good nudges. Let's think of implementing simple tools like the ballot bin to keep our communities cleaner and safer for our children. Can we simply encourage others in our neighborhood to segregate by designing a simple nudge?